Welcome to another episode of No Proof Needed. This episode we're going to be discussing part 5 and 6 of The Last Dance of Michael Jordan. So our first topic today is, I think it's part 5. Michael Jordan said he don't look at him as a role model. So my first question would be, do you think it's fair for celebrities to say have statements like that? I mean, me personally, I say I don't think it's fair because I just feel like you're a celebrity. Little kids, you're a celebrity because of these young kids or whatever who's watching you and stuff like that. For you to say something like that, I mean, I don't think that's fair to them. You know, who basically most of the time at a certain age they looking at you more than they look at their parents.
Yeah.
You know, for guidance or copying your actions more than they may copy their parents' actions and stuff like that. So, with you knowing stuff like that, I don't think it's fair for you to be able to make a statement like that. Me personally.
I just think it come with territory, man. Once you're a celebrity, come with territory, man. People don't look up to you, regardless if you want them to or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to say, you know, I'm trying to look at it on both ends because I mean, a long time ago, I think y'all might not remember, but Charles Barkley had a commercial. I am not your role model, you know. So, to me, I understand where he was coming from, but in the same sense, like you said, it comes with the territory. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say I'm here, I'm a big time celebrity, and I want the kids to look up. I want the kids to look up to me and all this stuff right here. But in the same sense, when it's time for you to step up and be a role model for them, you're not doing it. I don't agree with that. So, that's what I'm kind of stuck up on that situation.
I agree with Michael Jordan. Like, he ain't nobody role model. He just want to play basketball. That's all he wanted to do.
So why you feel like that?
Because, man, that's all that man wanted to do is play basketball. That man was like, okay, kids look up to me.
Okay, do you think he just want to play basketball? Or do you think when it started getting hot, when people started holding their foot to the fire, like when it came to the politics, when people started holding their foot to the fire, do you think he that was his cop out by saying, I don't want to be a role model. I ain't signed up to be no role model. Was it a cop out or was it he really felt like that?
I think he really felt like that. Like, he just really felt like, I just want to play basketball. That's that vibe.
If you say you want to play basketball, you shouldn't have to use endorsements.
That's what I'm saying. When people say that they just want to play basketball, no, you don't, man. Because you just want to play basketball, you just go to the local YMCA and shoot basketball. You can't.
And then you got
You want to go to a local YMCA play basketball, you want to make millions playing basketball.
But why you make no million though?
I mean, his talent. That's why he making millions. His talent.
Okay, you talent, but he had all talent in the world, but people ain't spending money and come to watch you play, so he won't have that money.
I don't
Man,
get
making much money as he do.
too, like you with all these endorsement companies too, endorsing their stuff on their brand. But if you don't want to be a role model, you shouldn't be doing stuff like that. You shouldn't be having commercials with McDonald's, with little kids. You know, kids gotta eat McDonald's, Gatorade. You shouldn't be doing this stuff.
Buy that stuff. Like, he just playing basketball.
But you don't
That's why you shouldn't
have it.
You want to play basketball, it shouldn't be no endorsement.
It should be no endorsement.
It shouldn't be no J's.
Yeah, you right.
It shouldn't be none of that. It should just be
This
basketball.
man had a whole campaign of I want to be like Mike. Yeah, everybody around here saying they want to be like Mike.
Yeah, you can't.
So you can't say you don't
that.
want to be no role model.
You
You got
can't say
kids
that,
saying
yeah.
I want to be like Mike.
Exactly.
And I think he contradicted himself years later, like now, by saying how he feel like people gonna think of him in this documentary.
But could it be people forcing him to do that with the endorsement? Like,
Nobody forcing him to do that.
like, okay, Mike, do this. Mike,
Yeah,
do like this.
What about the gig? They say somebody offered him $100 million to do it. He turned it down. Nobody forced him to do it.
Why he turned it down, though?
Because he want to
Do it. He didn't want to
He
do
don't
it.
want to be no role model. He don't want to be in that spotlight.
But you got a whole campaign saying you want to be like Mike. You want everybody to be like saying I want to be like Mike.
But
You can't.
around that time,
I wanna be like
you
Mike.
don't think like people like Mike. I think you need to do this to get your endorsement where it need to be and stuff like that.
But his mama told him to endorse the politician.
Yeah, like.
So if you.
I don't blame Mike for that. I'm
You
not
don't blame him for that.
I don't get mad with that. He don't know nothing about that man.
But you
But you don't know about that man, but you know a lot about the other dude he born again.
you know about him. Not only. Just think about this. Not only did he not endorse him. Now, let me stick with this.
I was saying wrong.
Craig Hodges turned around and said to this. They was talking on Rob Parker and Chris Broussard's show. And Craig Hodges made a lot of things, and we'll get into that a little later on. But he's like, your mama asked you to do this. Your mama, the same mama that told you you need to go sit down and talk with Nike. You didn't want to go sit down and talk to Nike. You want to be with Adidas. Your agent is telling you that the guy from Adidas, Adidas is in shambles. They're not going. Nike's the new upcoming thing. He didn't want to go because he wanted to be with Adidas. But if it wasn't for his mama to tell him, Michael, you're gonna go, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna listen to what Nike got to say. His daddy turned around and tell him, boy, if you foolish if you don't sign this contract. So if them two people who done brought you up,
That's money. Like,
but they told you,
I'm gonna go listen to somebody offer me some money.
you didn't want to.
But it's like, I'm not finna endorse somebody I don't know. It's like me endorsing somebody.
The point what I'm saying to you, if his mama, if he listened to his mama then, if she said to him, baby, this is the guy you need to say some words about. You need to endorse this guy. He could have easily said this thing right here, and nobody would blame him for it. Mama, look, I don't know anything about this guy.
But how do you tell your mom that?
No. If you talking about
Like-
his mama to go again, he listened to everything his mama had said up until that point. Any decision that mattered in your life, he listened to it. When he made the basketball team,
That's a touchy topic right there.
What is so touchy about?
Like,
you from North Carolina, you got and this is not a racist remark, but it is a racist remark. You got a white guy that's saying there should be no Martin Luther King holiday. Man, that was enough for my mom to tell me he said that. I'm saying, how much money? Somebody write down what y'all want me to
he
say.
wrote the man a check.
He wrote him a check, but they needed him to be out front endorsing. They needed him to be out front.
The thing about that man had Michael Jordan endorsement at that time, what would have happened?
It probably been over.
I mean, I understand that.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You're not listening to answer.
He wasn't comfortable doing it. You can't make nobody do something they ain't comfortable doing.
But okay, you can say that, but he can also go back and say he don't want to be a role model, but be comfortable with having a campaign that's got kids saying I want to be like Mike.
Yeah, and
You
he
stealing,
made
you
McDonald's
robbing
go
these
on
fools.
commercial. Hey,
You telling me you don't want to be a role model, but you get.
Let him be dumb to do that.
Man, listen.
He ain't making nobody do that stuff.
He had
The man just wanted to play basketball.
You say he didn't want to be. He didn't want to endorse a guy.
Hey, that's what we're in.
You can't. You trying to say that he
no
didn't want to.
endorsement, no, I want to be like Mike, no J's, none of that.
None of
You
that.
wanna play
That I
basketball,
want to be
just
like
basketball.
Mike. That right there, that just contradict your whole statement when you say you don't want to be a role model. You can't say you don't want to be a role model and then in the same breath you got a whole campaign. Everybody screaming. I'm in the first kindergarten grade. Everybody screaming they want to be like Mike. Everybody.
And then, to kill Antonio with this situation right here, he turns around and endorses Bill Bradley. He turns
I was
around.
comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't comfortable though. I mean,
I don't want to get it. I don't get it. You talking about you do not endorse, and again, it's racist, but it's not racist. You do not endorse a black man that's from your town, your state where you come from, that your mama and your dad them endorse. You don't endorse him, but you turn around later and endorse a white guy, Bill Bradley, that you know nothing about.
I mean, that.
My thing, I ain't got to know nothing about the black dude, but me simply knowing about the white dude when he represents stuff, that's enough for me.
Yeah, that's
You
what I'm
know
saying.
what I understand all this stuff. I understand. But you gotta listen to that man say it's like, man, he didn't want to be in that spotlight with the political. He wasn't comfortable doing it at that
But
time.
watch on yo, it come back with money.
You know what I'm saying?
It come back with
And that's the thing that got everybody. If he had just left that state.
Okay, but we still don't know go buy stuff. So what the point?
But no, you
talking
talking about you can't you arguing the point about him not want to do it. You arguing the point about him not want to do it, but then you turn around and say about the money situation. Here's the thing about it. If he had never came back with a statement saying Republicans buy tennis shoes too, and somebody heard him saying that Republicans buy tennis shoes too, it probably wouldn't have been as big of a topic as it is today. But when he said that Republicans buy sneakers too, that pretty much said y'all shut up.
But I'm not feeling sorry for that man. That man said that, but okay, his ones came out today. How many people the Republican went out there and bought them? I bet a bunch of Democrats went out there and bought them today. A bunch of us went out there and bought them.
I'm not getting your point.
So,
The point you're trying to make.
the point I'm trying to make is like people don't care about that. Like people could go buy that man stuff regardless. Like he don't care. Like they don't care. Like what y'all hold that man accountable for saying Republican about you?
Not me, because I think it's just all coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like you can't hold that man because he said that.
What you saying?
I know.
I'm
I'm talking about action. I just say don't say you don't want to be somebody and you turn around and you do it. You still do it. So you're walking contradicting at that point.
You can't have, like I said, you can't have.
But things don't. What he
So every time that man, somebody want to endorse you, want Mike to say something, or you want to say something on every little problem.
No, I don't
You know what I'm saying?
But when the big issue, the big thing, you want your leaders or your community to step up. The people that don't have that.
People talk about, well, back in the day, man, there were people way before him that was stepping up, that was losing way more. Oh, well, he didn't want to lose the things that he had. Man, look at what Muhammad Ali gave up for his rights and his rights of.
And I respect the man for doing
Well,
that.
you
Some
know,
people
he
not like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Some people ain't like that. I respect Muhammad Ali for doing that. But he wasn't comfortable doing that.
We're not talking- that's my next question. You say he's not comfortable doing stuff like that. So everybody want to just say how mentally tough Michael Jordan was. But me personally, I just want to know what y'all think. Do y'all think he was as mentally tough as people try to make it seem, or did he have some weaknesses?
Yeah, I think he had plenty of weaknesses, man. My thing like this, man. If he get burnt out from the media attention he was getting back then
In the 90s.
in the 90s, he wouldn't last a second and did it.
So he's basically you saying you don't think he can last in the social media area right now?
No,
No,
too many cameras always rolling.
No.
The only go ahead, I'm sorry.
But think about it, man, it's 24/7 media coverage, man. Think about back then he just dealing with the local coverage and some national coverage, man. It's 24/7
All the
media
time.
coverage. Especially for somebody as big as Michael Jordan was at the time. Think about you can't do nothing, man.
The stuff he was getting away with in practice.
Yeah,
back
all
then.
that stuff.
Like when they were talking about stuff he was getting away with, I even thought about Kobe. When Kobe at the end of his career, he went on that rant in practice that day. He was going off on all of them. I was just thinking about like that. If the stuff if he was trying to get away with the stuff he was doing in closed practice back then, and today we could view it, you'll see him.
But did you judge Kobe off that last year?
Huh?
Did you judge Kobe off
Me
that?
personally, I didn't judge Kobe. I didn't judge Kobe because I figured Kobe had that drive already, that mentality already. To me being an athlete and being a competitor and want to win, the stuff he was saying to them, if you playing that way, I probably me back then too.
And I don't think Kobe was
Kobe when that disrespectful
Yeah.
and cross no line. You don't
Yeah,
tell
Kobe
nobody
didn't cross no
that
line.
For the people that may not know what y'all talking about. Like
what like the last it was right before he tore his Achilles, wasn't it?
Yeah, we came
Wait,
back.
yeah,
We came back.
Team was trash. They were losing. Yeah, he went off on them.
I'm coming back to this mediocre stuff. Like he basically ain't accept that stuff.
Yeah, he
like,
going
just
off
went
on
off.
the practice, and ESPN aired it.
Oh.
But his one like disrespectful. It went to the point where
I don't feel like he crossed no line.
he ain't crossed no
He
line.
didn't point nobody out. We
Yeah.
just say as a team. He ain't-
Yeah. Michael Jordan
I
still
think
He didn't get to blows or fights and stuff like that. I think the biggest thing with Jordan, to me, the biggest thing with Jordan is that he came off in a situation where in my era, we didn't see like a lot of people keep talking about they don't see nothing different. They don't know nothing different. They ain't find out nothing different about him now versus for what happened in the past.
I think you can.
Me personally, I have seen a whole lot that I didn't know. I didn't know that he was the type of person like, he is now and all this stuff like that. And I know you just asked a question about being being tough. I'll give you a prime example. One of the examples I would use. If we were in this day and era right now, and they won the championship, and Michael Jordan didn't go to the White House, and his whole team went, wherever he was playing golf at, somebody would have been there interviewing him and saying, listen, he chose to go play golf around the golf, then to go to the White House, and they would have ate him up.
I don't want to go to the White House now anyway.
We're not just talking about the president we got now in the office. We're just talking about period, just being in the being able to go to the White House, and he chose for the reason he chose not to go to the White House was nothing out of the ordinary. It was just a day he wanted to go play golf, and it was
selfish.
It was but then again, you talking about selfish. You talking about selfish. You just crucifying Scottie Pippen for being selfish. You did not, no matter what the situation was, why didn't you go take the time and go to the White House with your team? But you call Scottie Pippen selfish. So again, still sticking on the topic of what you said, me personally, as mentally tough as he was as a basketball player, his high drive to win, I think off the court, if he didn't adapt, and we talk about adaptation, well, would he been able to adapt in this era? If we talk about the Michael Jordan of who he was, could you put him in this era right now and he be what LeBron James is? I think he'll crumble. I think he would crumble, and he would crumble.
I
But
don't-
even on the court though, yeah, okay, he did amazing stuff, but you can't say he was mentally tough on the court either. Or to after 3 years of going straight back to back on championship winning in 3 years, you got to retire, take a year and a half break. That's not mentally
that was
tough.
part of it, the media scrutiny he was in.
Yeah, he started getting a lot of media scrutiny about gambling
and all that.
So that's not mentally tough to me. On the court,
That's my point. Yeah, that's my whole point too. Another thing I'm saying is like, man, I don't think he would got to the level right now. You tell me, man, nobody can tell you anything you throw at Michael Jordan don't stick, man.
yeah.
Like if you don't know better, you'll think he second coming to Jesus, man. Like he perfect. He ain't never missed a shot. He got all the rebounds. He won every game he played. This thing, all that, man.
And on top of that, I think the fact that one another thing that bothers me is that it seemed like his teammates kind of protected him. Nobody ever talked bad about him. Nobody never said anything bad about him. But you seeing a lot of things that Michael Jordan did wrong to people on his team, outside his team. That now you're seeing that now these people got to defend themselves because you brought it to this documentary and you made them look weak in ways like the other day with the Horace Grant stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, like I said, I'll let you move on to another topic. But you know, that's my thing. You know, I think he's bringing a lot of things out. Even back when we was talking about the last episode, we talked about the Isaiah thing, where they were saying that Michael Jordan, everybody was saying Michael Jordan had nothing to do with it. Well, Michael Wilborn did a show and said it was over 9 guys that had stated that they didn't want Isaiah on their team. Well, the next day, Michael Wilborn had to come back and recant that story because he had over 9 guys call him and said that's not true. So when you start talking about if 9 guys are saying they didn't have nothing to do with Isaiah not being on that team, it wasn't but 12 people on the team.
The 3 was Mike, Magic, and Scotty, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Those were the only 3.
And I think Magic just didn't have no. He was in a place where him and Isaiah wasn't seeing eye to eye. He could have cared less.
Yeah.
And like I said, when Rob Thorne, he went on TV probably a week before the documentary, last week documentary went out and said, me and Michael Jordan never talked about Isaiah Thomas. It was never a conversation. Isaiah Thomas never came up. Well, in the documentary, you can hear Michael Jordan saying plain as day, hey, Rob Thorne called me and asked me to play on the Dream Team. I asked him who's going to be on the Dream Team. He told me the person who you was worried about ain't going to be on the Dream Team. So what is that saying? I mean, tell me what. I mean,
It's implied that
Yeah,
he
he just
might didn't say his name and nothing like that, but it's implied that he didn't want him on the team.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna play if he was on the team.
And again, like I said in the last episode that we did, if Michael Jordan wanted Isaiah on that team, there was no reason why Isaiah was not going to be on that team. So that I think he had all the pull, and he was the one that really kept him off the team.
I agree, but you touched on it a little bit about that the Horace Grant thing. I can't remember which episode it was in, but I want to touch bases on that a little bit. But do you think it was fair with Michael Jordan not to have any proof or any evidence for him to say? But I think the Jordan Rules book. Do you think it was fair for him to say Horace Grant was a snitch to give out all the information?
I think because when he made the comment, he said it wasn't nobody but Horace Grant and
Yeah.
Scottie Pippen. So I guess he assuming that Scottie Pippen was his guy, so you automatically eliminate him.
Yeah.
I think that's. I
And
think
he
that's-
basically said Horace Grant.
he
was
said-
Horace
yeah,
Grant.
he basically said it was.
So do you think that was fair for him to, without any proof or evidence,
No,
to say that about that man?
no, because at the end of the day, dude, how you know if you don't have no proof, you don't know for sure. It could have been Scottie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was some tension there between them two. Them two ain't just had no perfect relationship. So you don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't know.
all over the organization.
Yeah.
But then somebody say didn't
Yeah.
when they was when they was talking about the book, somebody was like on the actual documentary they were like, this ain't just nothing one person. BJ Armstrong, he was like, this ain't nothing just one person could have said. Even if Ward had said something, he wouldn't have had all these encounters by himself. He wouldn't have had all. He wouldn't have had all the information. He got Sam Smith got the information from other people too within the organization.
said that in the documentary.
Yeah, he said in the documentary.
Yeah, he said that in the
And
documentary.
when he said,
Field,
yeah, everybody.
all of them. I think everybody was leaving stuff.
but nobody denied it because when BJ said that, it implied to me that stuff was true.
Yeah. And then and like BJ said too as well. He stated in there, not BJ but Horace Grant. He was like, there's a lot of things that went on that they didn't say, they didn't talk about. And he just said that Horace Grant said the thing. He said that, hey, people don't realize Sam and Mike used to go play golf together.
Yeah.
So who say Mike ain't say some of the stuff they said? So he said there was a lot of other people. And I think with the situation with Horace's interview, private interview with Shannon Sharp, I think hopefully when this coronavirus stuff is over and they're able to get back, I'm anxious to see all the stuff that Horace was talking about, because me personally, I just don't believe it's fair for Michael Jordan to. I'm going back to, like all this week, I'll be looking at all kind of different documentaries, all kind of interviews of people. And I touch on this. Craig Hodges was one of the ones that stepping out and saying, hey, listen, it was wrong for Jordan to do about the cocaine situation. It was wrong for Jordan to say what he did about Scottie. And it was definitely wrong for him to say flat out say Horace Grant was the one that caused all the problems and did all that stuff. He just said those are the type of things that,
Yeah, all the stuff he telling now, we can make him tell all the book about just the stuff he said.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing about it. And I think that's the biggest issue, that nobody's still like, he ain't saying that stuff wasn't true, but it's like the fraternity that you have, there was no reason why he should have. What did you get off of throwing Horace on the bus? Because I just watched an interview with Horace Grant talking about Jordan. It was like, they're all praising. Nobody has never said anything about Michael Jordan out of the way. Like Michael said a few minutes ago, he just like Teflon, you know what I'm saying? The biggest thing about nobody ever said anything bad about him. But I think now, going back to what you said earlier, he worried about a lot of things. I think things gonna come off. It's a lot of things because of reaction. We still not 2-3. Me personally, the documentary just ain't blowing me away. It's the aftermath of the documentary where we get that's I'm finding out information from other folks.
I think we starting to keep better to see behind the curtain, man. Keep behind the curtain and see all the flaws stuff that we were able to cover up over the years, man. Because he had it 24/7 meeting like we do now, man. Like athletes now, we get to see the good, the bad, the ugly with them, man. Back then, it was easy to put out a perfect image.
Yeah, and I think when he get on there on that documentary, he do be throwing them up under the bus.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of reaction after the show aired, a lot of people be in them emotions at that time, like the Horace situation. He probably would have never told them stories of that side of Michael Jordan. If Michael Jordan didn't say what he said on that last episode, it wasn't nobody but him who told my business.
And then again, the sidebars and all that stuff come about. When folks talking about how it made him look weak when people came out and said, "Oh, Michael Jordan took didn't let him eat."
Shannon Sharp.
And so
hot.
yeah,
You
and
want to fight Michael Jordan?
so it make it want people have to defend themselves.
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, no matter how good you is a ball player, man, all on men, you're a man at the end of the day, man.
Yeah.
Like Shannon said, he would have had to see me.
Oh yeah, another scene I want to talk about too, when they was talking about plane rides back home, like after Horace Grant had a bad game or something like that, and basically Michael Jordan told the flight attendants not to feed Horace, because he don't deserve to eat. How y'all feel about that? Y'all feel like that was fair, or
Man,
being a great leader, or what?
No, people talk about back in the day. That's what it took. Some people talk about some things, and you think about it when they talk about some of that stuff did happen, like hazing and people trying to make you tough and all that stuff like that. But you talking about pros, man. You talking about stuff that you talking about stuff like that happening. You're in high school, you're in college, and all that stuff like that. Where people trying to test you and all that stuff. But when you get to be a pro, and you telling another man, you telling supposed not to feed another man, that's crazy, man. That was crazy to me, and to me, that was the ultimate disrespect from this team.
Yeah.
You didn't. I don't care. And again, I am a Michael Jordan basketball player. I'm a big fan of Michael Jordan basketball player. But when I'm finding out about Michael Jordan, the man, I ain't too thrilled about some of the things he did, because it wasn't cool. You know what I'm saying? You just don't. You talk about the same guys, Horace Grant, like I said again, who were people who took up for him, who never leaked any of this stuff out. You never heard any of this stuff. These guys could have came out
There's a people
long time ago.
Younger generation now, we never knew none of this
Yes.
stuff.
And what kills me about it is that when people said, what's his name? The guy who be arguing with Stephen A. Smith. Not Max, the black guy. Played
Dominique
Wilson. Jay Williams. Jay Williams was saying, Stephen A., what y'all don't understand, what you're failing to realize, yeah, it's Michael Jordan's story. This is Michael Jordan's way. But 20, 30 years from now, that's all people going to see is a documentary. Mm-hmm. And it's like his word means something. So if people don't come out and defend themselves now and say things now, ain't nobody gonna see all this other stuff later on down. All they gonna see is this documentary that he put out and said, this is what Horace Grant did. Mm-hmm. Michael Jordan, one time before Michael Jordan told Horace told the flight attendants not to feed Horace Grant. So I mean, again, I think that stuff is crazy, man.
You gotta say,
He probably agree with it.
No, I don't agree with that. Man. Look at the feed somebody. I don't mean we're gonna fight. I like to eat. So.
You know what I'm saying? Like, did nobody ever test him, or was it just let me sit back and sacrifice it? Let him do that because I know at the end of the day we're gonna win a championship. I'm gonna get more money and stuff like that. Do you just sacrifice yourself for let somebody disrespect you like that just to win, or what was it?
It's not like we weren't allowed it, but
they probably scared for their jobs, bro.
What to say like this taking care of my family.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So do I take this?
Yeah, they had to weigh their option.
I get that saying all that, man. But it's saying, like I said, man, at the end of the day, man, you a man at the end of the day. You gotta be able to look at your family eye, your wife eye, your kid eye, in that man.
But you saying that
in
now,
that moment.
In that moment, like we can't know, like we might say that I'm a man, hey man, you ain't from talking like that in that moment, but we might say.
No, Tonyo, we talking about talking to him. This man said you ain't gonna eat. Your boss right now tell you can't eat.
No, you can't say boss, because Michael Jordan was
okay, but when you
right.
When your coworker tell you right now, you can't eat.
What they coworker? I mean, no,
They're wrong footed,
What gonna happen?
First of all, I'm a grown man. Like you even tell you what.
So that's the same thing. Jacob they probably get kicked out the bull team, but they're fighting somebody else.
And that's what Shannon said. He said what Skip didn't understand, that Shannon was saying that Michael Jordan had the same title as Horace Grant, a player. He was a player, and he had no right to do that. And I think a lot of, again, man, go back to, the way that people always talk about. You see them argue all the time about this kid couldn't play in that era, this Joker couldn't play in that era. And this is how things happen in that era. Man, when you start talking about right and wrong, that was just flat out wrong, man. You just don't do stuff like that. And I just don't. And again, like Horace Grant, Shannon Sharp was talking about how Horace Grant said there was plenty of times he stepped on Michael Jordan, and people had to stop them. You know what I'm saying? From
they put it in the documentary.
Yeah, and he said, he wanted to get it Mike, but they didn't put it in the documentary. So
I guess the next one will be, how do you feel about Michael Jordan going, taking a casino trip after Game 1? In the middle of playoffs, basically. Not in the middle of playoffs, but when the playoff first started. Him going, how do you feel?
Like I said, I think that's a bad look, man. Like you being a big player on the team, leader of the team, man. Cause just think about it. If somebody else had did that during the play, how you would take it?
But how we know people ain't do that though? Like I don't see nothing wrong with it. Like to me, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Why not?
They won the series, didn't they?
So is that why you see nothing wrong with it? Because they won the series? They had a lost series?
What did they lose?
I mean, I don't see nothing wrong. That man, he needed to get away. Like, do you want him to play with a lot of stuff on your mind, or do you want him to get away to release his mind and play?
Do you consider mentally weak? He mentally weak because he needed that getaway?
No, I seem like he need to go get stuff off his mind and come back.
That's mentally weak, right?
That's not mentally weak.
I think you feel that way because you know the result, man.
Right.
In that moment, I think you'll feel totally different.
If you was a coach,
put yourself in a situation that you in a coaching right now, and one of your players took a trip in the middle, say we on a tournament, and one of your players
stay up all night. Just say stay up all night. We deal with that.
Let the hotel went somewhere.
Yeah, they paying. Yo, they
paying. When they know we had a game,
mamas went to
you better ball out. You better come back.
When the Sky Zone or something that night.
But if he don't know?
Michael Jordan didn't ball out. He went ball out.
They lost game 2.
Yeah, and he went 3 for 18 game 3.
No, that's because of the results.
You can't tell about the end result.
Okay, like you compare what my parents doing that.
No, it's the principles.
Did Michael Jordan go hit that?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Like it just he wanted to get away and clear his mind, man.
Okay, so they just said if you was on the AU tournament and one of your players, y'all in New Orleans, and one of your parents' mama go to the one of your players' parents go to Bourbon Street, and they like, I'm going with my mama on Bourbon Street all night, and then y'all got a game at 9 o'clock in the morning. They come back, they don't perform. What you gonna say?
You cuss him out.
Okay, so
in that moment, we saying that moment, you would have been mad at him in that moment, man, because you didn't know that y'all gonna win the series. You ain't know that.
You would have been mad that morning when you found out that he didn't get back to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, knowing they had a 9 gun.
So you saying that fucking man because Michael Jordan went away?
Well,
They feel some type of way. They probably ain't come out of the bourbon and said, but they don't know it.
because
So you said this man, okay, after the game, like stay in the hotel and just focus your mind on game 2 instead of me going getting away. Okay, my way of doing this is getting away and just clear
Ooh,
my
I want one
mind.
of your players.
Let me-
And I want them to have that. I want you to have that same energy.
You know
when
what
one of your
I'm saying?
players do that. I want you to have that same energy.
Let me ask you this question right
Yeah,
here.
I know he ain't.
I
right.
can't control the kid. I can't control the kid because they parents.
But Tony, honestly, you get mad at a child for something far less than that.
It's a difficult. It's a child. It's a grown man. You
It's
can't
a
let that grown man-
basketball. He's still staying out trying to play.
I can't make that mama stay right here. Like stay. Your child needs to stay. If your mama, I can't make
Michael
her do
Jordan
that.
was not playing for himself. He was playing for the Chicago Bulls. He was a basketball player. No matter how you look at it, he was a basketball player. He wasn't. That wasn't his company. It wasn't something that he owned. So my thing is, if they had a
What color then?
Oh, look, hey, check this out.
Remember
Remember what he said
Just
about
what
Dennis
color?
Rodman?
That's what I was getting on.
He said, y'all let him go. He ain't coming back.
He didn't
That
want to
man
go.
way of clearing him out. He gonna say
Dennis
that
Rodman
man
said-
back.
That's exactly
And
how
he wanted to go.
can't compare.
And he didn't want to go, and that was a
That's
regular
the
season.
same way he
Dennis
wanted
Rodman
to
would throw it off. Michael Jordan ain't throw it off like
Exactly.
Dennis
That
Rodman.
boy Reefer let
We
Dennis
know Michael Jordan coming back. It ain't gonna take him 72 hours to get back. We know that.
But there's a proven fact that Dennis was gonna perform at a high level no matter
He
what
already
he
did
did.
that.
But I
Jordan didn't come back.
Jordan didn't come back.
I wasn't mad at Dennis for doing that. I wasn't mad at Dennis Rodman for doing that.
You were mad for him asking about it. But
No,
the same,
I wasn't mad
Michael
about
Jordan
that.
was
Like,
not
I wasn't
mad
mad at that. I
Mike
said,
Jordan told him if they let him go, he not
the
coming back.
same person.
Michael Jordan said that because he know Dennis wasn't coming back.
It don't
we know
matter.
Michael coming back.
It don't matter.
That's a big
He did
difference.
not want him to go.
That's a big difference. Dennis out there.
No,
partying.
Dennis need to clear his head. And you
Dennis
telling me
clear his
I
head.
can't go, but you turn around and when you need to clear your head, you can go.
In the playoff series.
In the
man.
playoff, you can go.
This regular season with Dennis now.
You can't tell me I can't do
I'm
something, but you
saying,
can do it.
once again,
Like,
I'm not saying that Dennis was wrong.
We're not saying you are. We saying Michael Jordan was
Say
saying.
Mike Jordan there.
But the question was, do y'all think he was wrong? No, he wasn't. He wanted to clear his head. You can't fault him out wanting to clear his head.
You
That's all
just
I'm
said- you
saying.
just said-
But the only way he could have cleared his head.
Yeah,
Or-
hold
He
on.
had to just sit in the hotel.
Okay,
What you
want
saying?
to go to clubs, strip clubs, some be drunk and stuff like that. You want to
You
do
know not the only
that?
one.
You get drunk at the casino. They give you plenty of liquor sitting down at the
Okay,
casino.
but he free. But he in the environment.
He ain't got to
He
pay
doing
for the
it-
look at the casino.
He in the environment. He ain't doing it but gambling. He ain't doing it like staying up just going
We
crazy.
all know gambling can lead to something more serious though, Tony.
Tony,
Gambling,
what?
man,
It's like
alcohol
death,
now.
death.
If you don't pay your debt, death.
He had money. So this is a different situation.
Man, listen.
No, because they came out and said, I don't know, I can't remember if it was in a documentary or if I seen it, but they basically said Michael Jordan was in debt with somebody for like almost $1 million.
1.3 million on
Yeah.
golf debt.
So yeah, he ain't had that much money.
Yeah, and then he lied, and then he was playing golf with a golf hustler, black guy,
Black man, yeah.
and then he ended up lying, and told them that he loaned the guy the money, and he had to go to court and testify, and the truth came out. The fact that was he had lost, and he was just saying I was embarrassed to tell anybody.
Which
that I
guy
had
told the
lost
story
it.
on the documentary?
Yeah.
Jay Aldrich, what his name is? Jay, what his name is?
Dave.
Yeah,
He had lost that kind of money. He had lost that kind of money. See, a lot of things that we're hearing about outside of this documentary,
Man, like the gamble. Okay.
So you saying that? Let me ask you a
gamble.
question.
Charles Barkley like the gamble. They just like the gamble.
They
They say
say-
hobby.
My thing,
Yeah, they say
my
hobby.
thing
That's
gambling.
fine.
My problem with him gambling. My thing is like you in the middle of a playoff series, man.
Down, you down 0-2.
No, you
Oh,
did
one.
not.
Oh, 1-1.
You the middle down in the middle of the playoff series, man. How would you feel if one of your other teammates had did that? What you did?
He didn't want-
and then come back and y'all lost that game. You would have had a problem with it.
Y'all act like that's not a problem because how y'all know people ain't doing that today?
I ain't saying it's a problem. I'm not saying it's a
contradiction.
problem. I'm saying that
He's
don't tell me
contradicting
I can't do something, but you can go back and do the
That's
same
right.
thing.
He's contradicting
Don't tell me I can't go clear my mind, regardless of how long you say it's gonna take me. It might take me 48 hours, 72. Don't tell me I can't go do that, but then you turn around, well, I can go clear my head, regardless of what you're
Mistakes
doing.
are higher.
He go been at a movie till 12:30 at night. It's the fact that you telling me I can't go clear my mind, but
Once
you can go
again,
do
I'm
that.
not agreeing with you on that. But my thing was, we know Danny was gonna come back and nobody was
How do you know
How
he
do
was
you know
gonna
he was
come back?
gonna come? That man was gonna come back, man. That wasn't that man.
They
first
just
time
said he
doing
wasn't.
it
They,
like
now
that.
they did say they had to go get him out the
That's what
hotel.
I'm saying. I
You
ain't-
back in Chicago.
He
He back in
Yeah.
Chicago. He had 2 apartments. He had one downtown by the arena and one by the practice facility. They just had to go get him out the apartment complex, apartment where he was at. But he came back. It wasn't like, even if he didn't come back that day, it wasn't like he wasn't gonna come back.
He was gonna come back, but maybe they probably have a
But
game.
Tony, I guess the
But you know
biggest,
what I'm
the
saying?
Not a game. Okay. once again, this was a regular
Season
season.
game.
This was regular season.
Early in the regular season.
Yeah, Mike, this
I don't
Eastern
see no
Conference
problem.
Final,
I don't see no
man.
problem. You gotta clear your head, clear your head.
All right, so why
whatever
you-
you can
so-
do to make
so-
the team better.
So why you saying it went okay for Dennis Rodman to go clear
I
his
said it was okay. I never said it was not okay for Dennis Rodman.
But you
to go
said
away.
you trying to justify
I was
you trying to say he
saying,
was gonna come
I
back.
was saying that okay.
You
His
trying to say
concern
he-
was when Dennis gonna come back.
No, you said he wasn't gonna come back. You keep saying he wasn't gonna come back.
No,
Even
when
if
he was gonna come back.
So
I'm
even-
like when the time. His concern was the time Dennis. Was
So my thing is this right here. At least listen to this right here. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit more. At least Dennis went and asked, Phil, I need a vacation.
Let him know what
I need a break. I need to clear my mind. Michael didn't ask nobody. And he just went and left. And then this is the same person, like the old folks say. This is the same person, the pot that called the kettle black. You was against Dennis leaving. It wasn't the fact that you just saying he wasn't gonna come back on time. You was against him leaving to go to get his mind clear. And you the same person that turned around and got out and left. It's not about. It's not. I agree with you. It's not about right or wrong. About what a person needed that time to do that. But the problem was, how can you tell one person that you can't do it, and you turn around and you go do the same thing?